T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What if I get to a place where I'm like, yo, I'm loving her intelligence. We vibe, we have a good time. But it's like, not today.
I say, yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot. Got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy. Fresh start time, fresh new mind. Free on the inside, free on the outside. Why you worry when you know that he gon' make a way? I done seen him make a blessing like 100 ways. Everybody got a time, a dog gon' have a day. Only running to the Lord, I never run away. Curving him, demons try to get me, but I'm swerving him. Circle him, target in my flesh, I had to murder him. Satan only come to steal your joy just like a burglar. Smirking him, I know he got it covered like a pergola. Yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot. Got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy.
Man.
Yo,
I heard that one in a minute.
I got a text message say I missed that intro. Listen, homie, it's for
We all
tonight. We had to do it for tonight, homie. Let's get that little bit. Hold on. We're gonna get a little bit of this in our life. You ever had a banjo in your life, brother? Boom, boom. You know? Boom, boom. Yo, Mike. We got less than a week away, brother. Less than a week away, brother. Ha ha. Clap it up. Come on. Where my cowboy at, boy? Let's get it. Bam, lamb. Come on, Black Betty. Listen, if y'all don't know, tonight I'm excited. It's very significant. Mike's about to die. So
Yeah.
we got this is last.
It's almost like you could almost say I'm committing to it.
Listen, yes, you are. In many ways, man. This is the last Sunday you'll see this Mike. As is.
That's
And
right.
in proper fashion, we wearing all black. Because it's the death of a whole bunch of flesh and a whole bunch of other things in the union of something great happening. Plus, I had to wear the Lokes tonight because we got a gangster. We got a straight gangster coming on the show. People look and they think because, you know what I'm saying, because she light-skinned. You know what I'm saying?
Light-skinned?
Because remember the episode when we found out she was plight-skinned, right? That's when you ain't really black, but you understand the black plight. You ain't got the black skin, but you understand the struggle. She plight-skinned it.
I feel like you shouldn't start the show off this way.
It's too late, my nigga. The whisper in the ear. Listen, yo, it is it's I'm excited, bro. So do what you gonna do, man. I'm gonna let you handle that.
All right. I don't know if anybody or any of our viewers saw our stories on IG, Facebook, but we have a special guest tonight. It's been a long time coming, really. Throughout the last year or so, when I started opening up about my story with my fiance Janae, like we've been getting a lot of people like, hey, you should have her on the show. You know, we love her. When is she going to be on the show? Yada, yada, yada. So today's that day. Today is the day that Miss Janae Williams, soon to be Janae Daniel.
Hey, Forever Daniels.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna bring her on. So we're gonna have a regular show, like we always do. We're gonna do the videos. We're gonna do some Q&A based on the videos. So yeah, it's Yeah, it's gonna be a doozy.
It's gonna be a dude. I wanna lay down some rules. This ain't gonna be an Ask Jay 21 questions about Mike episode. This ain't that. She ain't on here as a field Mike expert. She is very versed in podcasting, very knowledgeable. You usually hear her shouting wisdom from the background over there at the Daniels household. So we've had some people screaming, one, that we want to hear from Jay, and two, they don't understand why we don't have women on the show. And we told them time and time again, but if there was ever going to be an exception, this woman has been Mike's exception, and I guess today she becomes mine as well.
Man, listen.
Come on, man. To our favorite plight skin. Hold on, shit. Let me get intro music for her because she need her own intro music. Cause
make it ratchet. Do some Gorilla. That's her stuff.
Wow, is that
Look at her backstage? Look at her backstage.
She already got excited. Okay. All right, let's see what I got for her. All right, here we go.
Do your old stripper coming to the stage.
Coming to the stage with Type C curls. Only get 10 in the summertime. Hey, 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 hey.
That was really good. I appreciate it.
That was really good. It was so good. Really good. Don't come in throwing up the gangs. Okay.
I wasn't even going there.
She about to.
Not to go there. First of all, it should be illegal to wear glasses inside, sir.
I know you always say that. This is for you. I did all this for you.
God, don't do that for me.
Yeah.
I talk about people bad who wear glasses inside.
Yeah.
You talk about me bad all the time. But I just felt like this was a representation of your gangster. I just wanted to like NWA. Hey.
Jeez. Jeez.
I'm not going to put on the polo with the sweater around the neck. I know you want me to represent that side tonight, but we're not doing it. We know that you 75% Filipino. We know that. 25% white, and you got a black husband.
Damn.
So
right, not even a little bit.
By affiliation, association.
When I first met her, I said, "You got any black in you?" She said, "No." I said, "You want some?"
The mic.
Hello.
Hello.
And that's how we got here.
Wow. The story continues to change about how you guys got to this ceremony, to the altar. All right, we already got some people coming in. They want to look out for you, Jay. Jay, turn your mic up. So go to settings, go to audio, and then make sure your mic volume is all the way set up. Take off automatically adjust. Turn it all the way up. We want to hear you.
Settings. Go to settings.
Yep. Audio. That's all we need to hear.
And then at the bottom, turn off that automatically adjust, and then turn the mic volume all the way up.
I got you. Okay. Bam. That should be better now.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, look at this. Look at Mama's on here talking about who runs the world.
Golly.
Hey, Sharon. Hey, Mom. You already know.
Wow. Are we going? If anybody gonna talk to us tonight?
No. I'm okay with it.
Hold on. Rashonda said I must be in an abusive relationship. She asked if I'm over here hiding a black eye. Yes.
Jim whooped his ass today. That's what it was.
Man, the gym show did, my guy.
Yeah, it did.
Janae is here. Look at this. Come on. Plight skinned. All right. As promised, look, hey girl. All right, listen, Jay, you got a fan base already, or I don't know if they just hoping that you'll be the voice of reason, which she ain't.
I love it.
Y'all gonna find out in a little bit for yourselves. All right. Yes, Jay is in the house. All right. So we're gonna do what we normally do. Before we get into the show, we're gonna see what was the best part of your week. You know what? We're gonna let our guests go first. What was the best part of your week, Jay?
Oh, that's nice. So thanks for letting me go first. Ladies first, as you know.
Okay. Here, that's what we're doing tonight.
My maid of honor, and my bridesmaid Ashley was my best friend and one of my really good friends, Ashley. They took me out for bachelorette, I guess you would say bachelorette. I'm not into like strippers or something like that, so they were like, we still have to go out and do
rude.
Something. So they took me to a drag show.
Oh,
and that was exciting. So yeah. We had a good time though, and then we went and got massages the next day. So it was just like that.
Don't blow past that. How was the drag show, Jay?
It was crazy. I'd never been to a drag show, and so when I went, I don't know what I was expecting. I didn't know what to expect, and they came out and they had more stuff than I had.
Did you take a picture with any of the performers?
I did.
Is this one of them?
I'm not kidding you. It kind of looked like that, but he has hair on his chest with women clothes on. It was wild.
Tu Wong Fu, old school.
Yeah, Wesley and them.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes. Okay.
Wow.
Would you go back?
No, I don't need to go back.
One time was a charm.
One and
One
done.
time, that's enough for me. That's all I need to see. It's cool. I'm good now.
All right. Whatever you say. That's fine. Mike, best part of your week, Mike.
Shoot. So, for those that know me, I'm not really a big surprise guy. Don't like them. Don't really care for them. Tell me what we doing, where we going. Do I need to bring the blicky with me? I need to know all the information before I arrive. So my brother Cars and my brother Donnie decided to surprise me yesterday with wasn't a bachelor party. It's like a bachelor day. So we pull up. I don't know where I'm going, mind you. I go to my brother Cars' house. He like, let's hop in the car. I'm like, cool. We roll out and we end up at the gun range. So I haven't shot guns for what, babe? Like, let's just say last year.
But like middle last year. Like it's been a long time.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And guns are like therapy, like the gym. So for me to get in there, I just kept the whole time. I just kept like deep inhales and deep exhales, like, because like I was telling Donnie yesterday, sometimes you don't know.
That was Mike when we walked in the whole time.
That's funny. Sometimes you don't know what the stuff you need until you actually are in it. And it's like, that's it. That's exactly. That's exactly what I need. So we had a great time. The three of us at the shooting range. Donnie got in trouble for walking around the range with fully loaded handguns. And, they almost tackled him.
Mom is watching the show. The show.
No, he was very safe. Oops. No, so afterward, I don't know. We just got to move past it. After the gun range, we went back to Carson's house, got dressed, and then we went out to one of my favorite steak places in Downey, LKSD, Lock and Key Social Drinkery, and I got my tomahawk steak. For some odd reason, and this has never happened any other time I've went, they were playing all gangster rap for like 2 hours. And it didn't start till we walked in, right? Am I right?
That costs extra, bro. We didn't want to tell you, but that costs extra to get. It was a West Coast gangster rap night the whole time.
It was. So, man, it was that. Just good conversation with two brothers that I know care about my well-being, who I know have like poured into not just me, but into Jay, into our relationship, into Denim, and just to be able to know that you have brothers out there who really care about you to that level. Because for me, it like, I appreciate spending the money, but for me, it was more like the time. And then to see my brother and my other brother getting along so well, like they've known each other for years, it was just, man, the whole thing, just like, man, it was a few times I feel like I got emotional throughout the day, but it
a little emotional, Mike.
I mean,
tall nigga. Every time he cries, like a waterfall. If everybody underneath him is getting splashed. Golly, sensitive 8 foot.
Listen, well, we kind of went to one of the shows, kind of like Janae went to, because our waiter.
I'm out.
What you mean? So, so our waiter had a BBL, and right, and you're thinking like, okay, all women have BBLs. Like that's like the thing now. It wasn't a woman. Wasn't a woman.
It's one of the guys from Jay's show.
But it was hilarious.
I thought he was about to.
It was hilarious,
but it was nice. Rotunda.
No,
first of all, Mike is him and Cars staring competition. They're like, man, don't look. I'm like, I don't need to. The way that y'all looking, I'm good. The whole night, everything stayed up here because Cars told the nigga, thank you with your thick ass. If this is what happens when you get married, bro, I'm out. I don't want none of it. I don't want none of it. I don't. But you know what? I'm not opposed to anybody enhancing their body to get what it is they want to get. But y'all didn't have to point it out like that. I guess just force a habit when people walk by, caught you. Good God.
Accidentally looked. He was like, damn. Yeah, you can't unsee it. It's too late. Terrible. But that was mine. What was yours, bro?
Jesus. Good God. It was, for me, mine was more, for me, we had this conversation on the podcast a long time ago about how this is like a year or two ago, how a lot of black men have never seen a black man in their family prepare to go to the altar, propose, choose. We've never seen a black man go from choosing a girlfriend to a fiance to a wife to preparing to go to the altar and to being a part of like his bachelor situation and then showing to the wedding and like the whole process. I've been in different parts here and there, but to see, you know what I'm saying, you guys go from, you know, just exclusivity all the way leading here, being a part of that and being a part of this bachelor day was big for me, man, because I'm ignorant. You know what I'm saying to you, what that looks like. And so for me, even in my last relationship, I was just like winging it, you know what I'm saying to you, but then just like my experience there, seeing what you know, have prepared, seeing the conversations you're having with yourself every day, talking to you through the process, being exposed to Jay and getting a really good glimpse for myself for the reason why her, all that is helpful for me. You know what I'm saying to you, feeling like I have some kind of not necessarily a blueprint, but a model to pull from to put my own personality on, because I think it's taken, because I feel like because as Americans, you know, out here we don't really have a rites of passage for our young men. Right. A lot of us become my age, 44, with not really knowing how to intentionally do certain things in manhood, and we just wing it, and then we get judged because we don't do it right, or we do it like F boys, or you know, it looks like we're playing games when we really just have never seen it modeled for us. And we can't say that because then we sound like weak victims. So we pretend that we know exactly what we're doing and exactly how to pick the woman, how to propose, how to marry her. The whole time, what a lot of us are doing is just simply trying to meet her demands so she'll keep liking us.
Oof. Yeah, agreed.
And so to be a witness to this, man, did my soul a service. It did my manhood a deposit. And I'm like I told you the other day, man, I'm just grateful for you letting me be a part of it, because it's exposure. Like my mentor always told me, he said that exposure comes before the promotion. So no coincidence, all this is happening right now. And that being with you guys on Saturday overrode what I did on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, I went to the restaurant where me and my ex became exclusive. I had a reservation for one. That was the same restaurant that I had talked to her parents about setting up to do the proposal. I had it all mapped out. Well, I had started having it mapped out in my head. So I went there, table for one, 3 p.m. I wanted to sit in the same spot that we sat in, but God would not have it to be so. The waitresses and stuff was having an issue with that. So I sat across, but I was able to sit and reflect almost like a time machine. It was not so much for my heart. My heart was good. It was more of a more like going back to a place that meant something to me and giving it to God with gratitude, saying thank you for everything. So not only was my heart okay with the relationship and how it ended, it was not just okay. I'm in a place of gratitude about everything. You know, the disagreements and the things couldn't work out. Like, I'm grateful for the whole experience. I walked the same ground outside where I asked her, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, let's make this exclusive. I walked the same ground when I remember I just stood back and watched her and the wonderful ankles she had. And I remember that same moment. So I got a chance to relive all that without the anxiety that was associated with it the first time, because so much of it was we were in different spaces, right? Just it was y'all know the backstory.
Yeah.
But this time just so free and just being able to relive that moment. Ate and left, man. And as monumental as that moment was for me, as a place of saying, hey God, this moment, this place will ever be sketched in my memory and in my mind as a place where you helped to advance me and evolve me through a relationship, and I'm grateful. As monumental as that was, it has nothing in comparison to what me, you, and Karsh did. To be exposed to seeing my brother Giddy as a 2-year-old on his birthday at Christmas. Like, he loves this woman, man. So much so that me and Karsh trying to hang out with Mike a little bit longer. He's like, man, Jay headed home. I was like, all right, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. He's like, I wasn't gonna let you. And then this nigga text me, he whooped. We got home at the same time. It was so cute. I'm like, man, all right, bro. Go ahead.
All right. Never did I say it was so cute. None of that. Weird, boy.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's it for me, man. That was a highlight of my week. And that was it, man. I'm ready to get into this show, man. We got anything popping off in the comments? Oh man, let's see. Ask those who make a difference between black, white. Did you not read about? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, okay. Rashonda she's ready tonight. Okay. Oh, this is what we're doing tonight. Cool. Time out. Sasha, appreciate you. Good for Donovan. Way to have closure and come full circle for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that Jay is Mike's fiance, and that's my sister. So play fair or suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
And with that being said, Jay, how you feeling? You feeling comfortable? You feel good? You need anything?
I'm good. You know, this is like second nature for me.
All right.
So, full circle. When Mike and I started dating, I was on this side. I was doing a show every week and out and about, you know, this world, and then switched. So it's good to be back.
Nice.
Listen, Mike, don't start a podcast with Janae and get rid of me. Listen.
No, Donnie, you would just be added to the mix. What do you mean?
Come on, add me to the mix. That's fine. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we about to get into our first video just like this. We gonna ease our way into this tonight. I'm gonna be picking Jay's brain for some advice now that the dating doors have officially been opened. So
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling. You're sitting there, you're wondering, do I have food on my face? Am I eating? Am I talking too much? Are they talking enough? Am I interested? I'm not really interested. Should I play like I'm interested, but I'm not that interested, but I think she might be interested, but do I want to be interested? But now she's not interested. So now all of a sudden I'm starting to get interested. And when am I supposed to kiss her? Do I have to wait for the door? Because then it's awkward. It's like, well, good night. Do you do like the ass out hug? Where you hug each other like this and the ass sticks out because you're trying not to get too close. You just go right in and kiss them on the lips. So don't kiss them at all. It's very difficult trying to read the situation. And all the while, you're just really wondering, are we going to get hopped up enough to make some bad decisions? And perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or, ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Okay.
I don't like...
hey, before we dive into that, Mike, real quick, make sure your mic is turned up too. Your audio, or at least bring your mic a little bit closer, one or the other.
It's in my face, brother. Pause.
Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about just you yesterday and today. Mike had a sash on that said "Groom to be." Yes, he wore it all night, but then he wore it to the gym today, and so did Janae.
1000%.
Sashay, Shantae, all through the gym, looking real sashy, both of y'all.
We're 6 days away, you know.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So let's talk about it. First dates can get a little awkward. Was y'all first date awkward?
No.
Not even a little bit.
It wasn't even over the horrible movie? Is that because that was...
No. The movie was terrible. That was my fault, and I'll take that.
Jay, you got a chance to redeem yourself. We talk so much about this horrible... How did you end up picking that movie?
Well, because it's the only movie that I had recognized. First of all, I'm not a movie goer. And I'm not the one to go to the movies. I don't feel like I don't want to pay to watch a movie. I could watch at home. So, but Mike likes movies. So I was like, cool, that's fine. You want to go to the movies, that's fine. And he was like, well, pick a movie. I was like, cool, Men in Black, because I know Men in Black from when I was growing up. But this is like the Men in Black, I don't even know, the second, third, whatever one it was. And it was absolutely terrible. It was really bad. It was bad. But that didn't matter because we went to the movie. We laughed that it was so bad. And he talked about me for picking a bad movie. But then we sat outside of the theater and talked for the next like 3 hours. So
Good.
I would say our day was successful.
All right. So hold on. Let me ask a question though, because most girls are like, no, the nigga needs a plan. He needs to
1000%. That's what I was gonna say.
Speak to that, man.
No, so for me, I hadn't dated in a while. I was getting out of a previous marriage. It you know, all I knew is I like what I saw, wanted to get to know her. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know
what happened, Mike. You were just out of practice. You didn't date while you was married. I got it.
No, I didn't.
That's wild. Okay.
There's a lot of things that didn't go right in the previous marriage.
All right.
You know, you learned a lot though. That's the point though, right? When you get out, as long as you learn something and not necessarily learn what they did wrong, but learn about yourself and what you didn't do right or what you felt like you did wrong, could have done better in that previous relationship. Now that we're here, yeah, we're good.
All right. So I'm about to get back out here, right? And I know that because I was talking to one of my friends about it. You know, going back into dating, kind of like Mike, I haven't dated in a while, and also abstinent, right? You know what I'm saying to you. So I'm on a purity path, and I'm also on a marriage path, and so I'm sure the temperature out here in these streets has changed when it comes to dating. I've been seeing all these memes, I've been seeing these videos. Y'all knowing me, what advice would you give me now that I am finally opening myself back up to considering dating?
You want to start, babe?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I would tell you, Donnie, don't be naive. Because
let's get into it. Okay.
So, and I only say that because I feel like there are a lot of women like you. I think you're really good at setting your intentions and what you're looking for. And women, if they like you enough, they're going to mirror that intention, right?
Okay.
And they're going to, and that may not really be their intention. But I think at some points you're naive when it comes to women that like you. There are a lot of women that like you, and you're like, no, she doesn't. And we're like, Donnie, it's like clear as day. So I would say don't be naive in that way, because there are more women that like you than I think you think. So yeah.
So how does one become non-naive?
It's a great
because
question.
there's a lot of truth to that. So much.
Yeah.
Let me take this one. I think that the enemy has fed you a lot of lies about yourself, and so I feel like that's what fuels your naivety. Nah, she don't like me. Nah, she can't nah, I'm not where I want to be, so they can't like me because it's certain aspects that I'm still working on or I don't have, full control of, and that sometimes causes. Because I'm the same way. That can sometimes cause that I don't want to call it low self-esteem, but just that now I'm gonna stay to myself. I'm not gonna get out there and put myself out there until I feel like I have all my ducks in a row. But you'll be surprised clearly you'll be surprised what you can find even with all your ducks not in a row.
Interesting.
Yeah, man.
Interesting. All right. I'll take that. I think when I was at the restaurant, I wrote down some things about what did I learn, and that was not one of them. And so as I'm sitting here thinking about what you're saying, both of you guys are saying like people who like you, is there any profit or benefit to giving attention to someone that likes you that you don't necessarily like in return or are not interested in return? Is there any benefit worth investing in exploring that idea, that interest that person has in you?
I would say if you haven't shown any interest, how do you know if you really like them or not?
Factual. Good point. All right.
Because sometimes because you feel like you're not interested, you're gonna approach that person as if I'm already not interested. I didn't even give you the time of day, but because I've already put in my head, maybe it was something I saw, something I heard, the way you were dressed one day, and now it's just like I completely wrote that person off instead of.
Mike knows me. So let me tell you something that I struggle with, right? And so there's this going back to what you said about, them being interested, you not being interested. Here's one of the lies the enemy has fed me since I was young. I try not to look at people who may be interested in me because I feel like in the path of my life, I've left so many people hurt a lot of people, or at least they've expressed to me that I hurt them, broke their heart, played with them, when that was never my intention. I was just being authentically me. And so now the lie, I feel like that exists in my head a lot of times, that I got to protect people from me because I have a tendency to hurt people accidentally to a high statistic degree. And so that makes me just like, nah, unless I'm for sure, I'm just not even trying to entertain anything. And so I don't really know how to get past that. But what you spoke about was true.
Yeah, I don't think that you need to protect anybody from you. And I get, when you say that, I get where it kind of comes from. But I think that you being, I've told you this before, like you being who you are is enough. And you're not a bad person. And what you've done in the past and hurt people in the past, everybody's hurt somebody in the past, whether the intention to hurt was there or not.
I think I got the belt, the championship belt. I mean, per their word, both sides of the coin. I could have been just choosing a lot of victims, right? Or like Rashonda said, I'd be choosing people that don't really like me anyway. Or the fact that I'm misbehaving out here accidentally, but still, or ignorantly, but still, that's no excuse. So
I'm not gonna. Okay. I'm not gonna call bullshit, but I am going to devil's advocate.
All right, let's do it.
It's been, without getting into too much detail, it's been times where Donnie has made it clear. We're just friends, this is my homegirl. Like, it's clear, but it's also clear that this young lady likes Donnie. But Donnie is like, no, she told me. We had a conversation. It's impossible for her to. And so, and it's been times where I've come to the house and him, and you don't mind me telling certain without names, and do you?
What?
Jesus Christ.
No, for real. You broke up. What'd you say?
I said you don't mind me telling certain things without names and without.
Listen, we here, man. It is what it is.
All right. It's been times where I'll come into the backyard and Donnie is laid up in the hammock, but to him, this is just my homegirl. It's nothing going on. But to her, it's everything. It's everything. This moment right here, and I'll be his friend if I can just get these type of moments. You know what I mean? But for Donnie, it's so like innocent almost, and that's where and that's where I feel like I have to like remind Donnie sometimes, like these women that are saying that they're your friends, they may be friends, but they definitely want more than that. They're just willing to be your friends because they know where you stand.
So I remember when we first like formed this brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? And you and Carrie came over, one of my friends over, you know what I'm saying? We sitting on the couch, but we were hella close, you know what I'm saying, to you. And Mike was like, I don't really know you that well, but who's that? I'm like, oh, it's just my homegirl, right? And so again, there's that innocence. But since then, that gave me even more reason to just like, people come over now, they'll sit, on the other side of the couch or the other side of the living room now. So I'm really trying to make it more known since knowing you, like, I'm cool with just like, I grew up in a very affectionate family, not trying to, cap y'all or nothing like that with all this affection and stuff like that. But there are some boundaries that, I had to learn to further enforce, even if people were telling me that it's all good. Because I'd be,
Go ahead.
I will say, and a lot of that, is not being naive, or a lot of it is just that I just want things my way.
Yeah.
Which I also had to address in therapy as well. Like, Man, no, this is just, that's what they said. I'm just going to take what I want to believe from the situation and work it to my best interest.
Can I ask you some questions? I know this is not
can I ask you some questions?
I know this is not a date with Donnie section.
It is definitely not.
No, but I have a legit but I have a I have a legitimate question.
What up?
Do you feel like flirting with your homegirls is easier because you know that it's not going to go anywhere because we know we're just friends? So I can say little flirtatious shit.
Well, let me say this part to you though, because you give me a lot of good feedback. But I also know that it's your perspective, right? And so I'm not quick to incline to be like, yeah, Mike, you seeing it correctly. My process is like, that's how Mike sees it, and I respect that. But I don't always be like, I'm not flirting. And Mike like, nah, Mike will call BS, and I respect his perspective, even though I don't share it. And so even right now, it's like, if I'm flirting, I'm verbally telling someone that I'm flirting. A lot of times I've seen you call out flirting, and I'm like, honestly, bro, that was not it. Now, this could be, like I told you guys, my history, right? Being a male exotic dancer and a fantasy salesman. I talked to my mom about this. My sensitivity to flirting, you know what I'm saying, might be way off from what normal civilians.
Desensitized, nigga.
Ain't that something? Jay, have you seen me?
Listen, just going to the gym with you and the smiles and the looks.
Ain't that
and
something?
You just be like, hey, how you doing? I'll be like,
because what if they get the wrong idea? And when you meet someone and the second day they get to know you, they tell you that you should be their husband. At some point, you got to be like, just roll from the gate. Like, God dog, I don't want to smile back because now, I'm getting my tires slashed again, or I'm getting my window busted out. You know what I'm saying? It's like again. So I'm trying to, I've already disposed of and got rid of that fear. You know what I'm saying? And so I am walking with a little more freedom, but at the same time, I can't worry about the accusations of being, first of all, Pook, no. Pook, I am.
Agreed, Boogie.
Agreed. I won't talk to Jake. I feel like I'm getting jumped.
No, I can agree with Pookie. Natural flirt, because I don't think you know that you do it. But again, going back,
we got to define this.
It just, I'll define it for you. It just comes out naturally. That's it. The end. There you go. Absolutely.
So blame God. It's not my fault. This is way.
I'm blaming your past.
But I can appreciate. But you know what I can appreciate though is that you're not out here gaslighting anybody, making them think that you're interested or you want to take a relationship further, because you're very verbal about the things that you want, what this is and what this is not. So it's honestly, it's one of those things where I'm telling you what it is, you're agreeing to it. So at that point, it kind of takes the blame off of you.
I wasn't worried about blame anyway. Go ahead.
But I mean, you were worried about blame, but you are worried about going
perception
before.
Perception,
and like protecting people from you.
Yeah.
Therefore, you are somewhat worried about the blame, because even these women from before, they may have, felt away and told you, I felt this way because you did A, B, and C and blah, 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 blah. But that wasn't your intention, right?
Right.
So maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. So I think you have to, for yourself, you have to go based on what your intention was. Your intention
Listen,
was
I ain't letting nobody on in such a long time, because I started having a different relationship with karma, reaping and sowing and everything. So it's been a long time since I've intentionally, decades and decades, you know what I'm saying to you? Have I made some unwise decisions in the moment because, my flesh and whatnot? For sure. Yeah. But I want to ask you this though, because this is another perspective. I appreciate you, Paula. She says sometimes it can just be good energy, and a person can take that as flirting.
That's facts.
When people are around so much, and I know that I bring a good energy to the room. I know that one of my superpowers is I can make any situation fun. I know these things, right? And so when someone's been around smokers all day long and they get around a breath of fresh air, it can almost fabricate in their own mind that this must be only for me. And it's not. If you hang around me long enough, you see that I'm this way with everybody, men, women, children, and elderly.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And it's nothing, like I said before, it's not like, and I think I can speak for Jay. It's not a negative quality to have. It's just a quality that that I feel should be monitored, because you don't want people to start getting the wrong ideas.
So you can see my struggle with the word. You just said it wasn't negative, but you can see my struggle with the word by my defensiveness. That I have to try to make you see, like you said earlier, it's a perception issue. So I don't want to walk back out into the dating world with this perception issue, which is why I asked the question tonight, because we might better break the ground of some things. So stop being naive. And if you get accused of being a flirt, so be it. That's what I heard.
So be it, my nigga, because at the end of the day, one of these days you're gonna flirt with the right person.
There you go. There you go.
The right one. You got the right one today.
Man.
You got the right one today. Listen, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, man. Okay, so see, when you get intentional, different things happen, right? So Danielle said, I think the same way, Donnie. I don't want to lead people on. So when you talking to it from that perspective, what amount of responsibility, and I want both of you guys to answer this. I'm especially looking forward to seeing from a female's perspective from Jay. What amount of responsibility does a man have when it comes to wasting your time and leading you on? How much of that is your responsibility to not make it happen? How much of that is on him?
I think, for me, a lot of these things are 50-50, especially because when it comes to leading somebody on, you can't lead me on if we have a conversation about what we're looking for and what this is and what this is not.
Okay.
So if we are if you tell me this is what I want, this is what I'm trying to do, and I continue to hang out with you because that's what I choose to do, you're not leading me on. That's my choice.
Got it.
And if it comes to something comes from there, cool. If not, cool. But that's her choice. The leading on part comes with when you start to manipulate, lie, and all those other things, but which you don't do.
Yeah, anybody knows me that that's not my forte at all.
Right.
All right. So I ain't got to take responsibility for nothing, for sure.
Listen, because I was gonna be real shit. That was gonna be my answer. 0.
Okay.
0%. I've heard and seen some of the conversations you've had, and I saw these women still try to play friends, knowing that that's not really what they want. I'm not responsible for that at all. I'm gonna treat you as a friend, like for the duration of the friendship. If you choose to still have googly eyes and oh my God, Donnie, it's so fun. Listen,
I got it. Now the part I will take responsibility for, we got to talk about. There are those carnal moments where the flesh rises up, and there's an opportune time that you and that person just meet up in that same space, and you know what I'm saying to you. It's just, and so those are the things that I wasn't questioning. Do I take responsibility for that part and have communication and conversation around that? Because you know what I'm saying, I have my windows of opportunity or my temptations that, I win. Sometimes I fall short. And I think communication needs to be given around that, because there's a lot of misleading or misinterpretation that can happen when I say one thing and my actions show something different.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when it becomes your responsibility once you start dealing with that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, same thing. After you've communicated where you stand, it's not your responsibility. Paula said that's the games women play just to get in. Women most often think they can change his mind. That sounds like something Mama told me.
That's the game Janae played. That's why we're here now.
First of all, Jay, Pookie said it. Jay, did you?
Mine worked.
Game recognized game. Hit him up, Jay.
It did.
It worked. It did. So Pookie said Jay put Mike on layaway. Is that what happened to you?
1,000.
That's pretty good. That's
1,000%. But it's funny. But that's legit what happened. Babe, would you agree? Like, you played the position that you felt needed to be played. But I feel like it was genuine though. I don't feel like she thought that. I don't feel like Janae thought like, if I stay friends with him long enough, I'll get him. I don't think it was that. Yeah. I felt like she heard me say, I don't want to be in nothing, and she just cool.
Jay knew she had you from day one. She 1, never. As long as I've known Jay, confidence ain't never been an issue, and I know that she ain't a woman for games. So it may sound like, oh yeah, Jay just knew. She knew, and she made up her mind.
I'm glad you said that. Like, confidence has never been an issue, because I'm glad that you can see that, but it has been an issue for me.
Talk about it.
Yeah. there's things that happen that.
Is it because you're light skinned?
Dang.
I wish I had a mic so I can get close like you did and tell you no.
Just go in another room. Just walk right in another room.
Right.
If you see me fly off the chair, that's abuse. Call somebody.
Nah.
No.
The homegirl abuse.
The homegirl abuse. Oh, y'all need that video. No, but there's been moments for me, for sure, since I've been young, since before Mike, and things that happened that I felt very insecure. And I'm glad that I guess I don't show that, or you don't see that from me, and I seem confident, because that's good, because for the most part I am. But you know, we all have our moments. We're human.
Yeah,
where,
for sure.
You feel insecure during times like you're not enough, and you know that. So, yeah.
Well, sometimes my belief, sometimes you ain't enough. You're never gonna be enough for something that ain't for you, right?
Say that, bro. Say that.
You're never gonna be enough for something that ain't for you, or it ain't time.
And it's so crazy. It reminds me of the prayer you used to play when you were younger. Let me be what every woman wants. And we try to like as men, or as me and as you, people that have struggled with this, we try to be what every woman wants. So we become 100 different people thinking that, and that's not it. Just
so check this out. Dulce Amor. She said, I disagree because he should not have to change to fit others' perspectives. So that was the first comment. So that ties in what you just said. But now to Jay, she said, what steps did you take to put him on layaway? The 1, 2, 3 step. Jay, if you could break it down for the ladies.
That's good. It's funny because when you think about it and you like go back and think about it, like layaway, for the lack of a better term, right? That's the one we're going to use. I don't think I even knew that's what I was doing. I think it was more like Mike and I had, you know, kind of just like bonded. We have a good time together. We like to hang out. And we were both attracted to each other. And then I started helping him with his business. And so
I bet you did.
Hello.
Okay.
But I don't think it wasn't like a steps, because it's not something I did consciously. I wasn't plotting on, okay, well, I'm gonna do this because he's gonna think this. I was just being myself.
I think that's Jay's heritage showing up, because she's part white, right? And so back in the day when white people used to buy slaves, I think layaway was more
oh my God.
That's not the same thing.
No, Filipino. It's the Filipino side.
Nah, they like the blacks.
Donnie, where do you think I'm white? Where did you get that from?
Your mama.
My mama is not white.
Your mama's a light bulb.
My mom is light. She's not
with them ankles.
Okay. We talked about this yesterday.
We sure did.
Muskrat. Don't worry about it.
Go ahead, Jay.
I don't have anything to say besides the fact that I'm not white.
Anybody that can use water and their hair be done. I just got questions.
Johnny, you do that.
Yeah, you do.
I think she had technical difficulties. Jay got.
I want to say, take that hat off, so we're gonna see.
How are you talking about?
Got the Rick Box girls.
Oh man! All right, so I got another video for y'all. Y'all ready for this one?
Let's do it.
Woo! Talking about dating.
Shouldn't be controversial, but I put this on my Hinge profile saying no coffee dates and no walking dates. Because one, shout out to Nora. No coffee dates, no walking dates. Facts. And I put it pretty much how she said it, but people obviously weren't getting it. So I just put in the effort and I'll meet you halfway. It's easy. And look at me. I look all happy and like cheerful and like, why wouldn't you want to take me on literally any place else than a walk? This prompt feels provocative. Gets the people going because the men love to tell me that this is wrong. I always phrase it as like, I'm just curious why you feel that way. Don't be, because my man wouldn't be curious. My man would know. My man isn't going on walking dates or coffee dates, right? Because my man is more, he's picky with his time. He's stingy. He's strict. And the only men who want to go on walking dates or coffee dates are men who are going on a lot of first dates. They're going on a lot because they're not really making it to the second. My man, he's making it to the second. He's making it to the third. Like, he's choosy. He's picky. As am I. I'm choosy. I'm picky. I'm not going on a coffee date or a walking date because I already know I'm getting to the first date. So just let's bypass that. A man who's going on a high quantity of dates has no business going out with me anyways, because I'm looking for someone who wants to date like a quality woman and who wants to go on more quality dates and spend their time qualitatively. I know someone.
There's a little more to the video, but I'm looking at you and Jay's face backstage, and I'm like, let me turn this off. Go ahead.
So,
Go ahead, baby.
So I'll start with this. Yeah, this is Maddie, and I like Maddie a lot. I follow her on TikTok. She has a lot of like career advice, and she does reverse recruiting, all that stuff. And she's great, but she does talk about her love life a lot. And you know me, I'm not that way. I don't agree. I think a coffee date is fine because at the end of the day, I don't know you. And the intention for me of the first date is, can we vibe in front of each other? We can do it over text message. We can do it over the phone. It's different being in front of somebody. I don't expect somebody to spend $300-$400 to take me to BOA on a first date to figure out that we don't like each other like that. So, but everybody's different, and if that's what she desires, then that's what she should go find. But that's gonna leave her with men that probably gonna use her for certain things. Maddie has a nice body. She has her body done, and so you find men who are gonna use you for that.
Shit.
Michael. Jesus. Thank you, Jay.
Nah, I see why you wearing the glasses now, bro. I get it.
Whoa.
So like Janae said, if that's the type of man she wants, that's cool. I think where I have a problem is when she's talking about because men date what she called a lot, then that means the women that he's dating are not quality. She said she made a statement. I want a man that doesn't date a lot because he wants a quality woman. But I could date you and then a different lady and a different lady and a different lady, and I've only dated any of them one time. So because I've dated these women, that means that the women aren't quality? That don't make no sense.
Interesting.
How are we telling these women they're not quality because they're going on dates with men that have been on other dates? Like, that's the whole point of dating. I can't collect data on anybody if I don't go on dates as a single person.
So let's talk about it then, because I put this post up on my story, and I said, what do you guys think? Is this too strict? Is it more, I agree? Is it more to each their own? Or is this something for like women over 30? And a majority of the people said too strict or to each their own. It was very few people that actually agree with, no walking dates for me, right? Yeah. And so I'll just,
Never mind.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it from the perspective of, this is just helping me, pre-vet the feel for, because I know what I'm looking for. I have it written down on my phone, had it there for years, right? Just have to hold fast to the boundaries around it and then take what I learned from my last relationship and apply it. I know I'm not one that plays by the rules, so I don't want to pretend to be this, guy that the way the culture is saying a guy should be, because I can only fake that for so long. I'm going to be me from the jump. Yeah. And so when I'm looking at that, like I love the idea of a walking date or a coffee date, or and it doesn't have anything to do with finances. It's simply like Jay says, we're strangers. But then my precept before that is that, honestly, which leads to my next point, I'd love to be friends before I even started dating, but that seems to be a little bit more challenging. I'm gonna ask both of you guys again, Jay and Mike, is it realistic for me to be 44 years old, still desiring or prioritizing friendship before even dating?
Right?
Yeah, I think it's realistic, because if that's what you want to do, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to be best friends with your spouse. I don't know how it's kind of hard to get there if it's not naturally there, one, or if you don't try to cultivate that first.
Well, so what I'm hearing remember last week we put up this post, Jay, talking about boomers, baby boomers, and how they were like, I don't love them, love will grow, right? And we went down the line, millennials, everything. You saw that one. So I had a conversation with my mom about it. My mom was saying, like, it was different back then because we didn't have internet and cell phones. They didn't have internet and cell phones, so they found him a good man it was like, yo, you can provide, you got a stable, healthy job and stuff like that. Like, cool, like love will come later. You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm thinking about through this process is, you know, it's different from when you in your 20s and your 30s or your 40s. And so that's why I was wondering, like, is her no walking, no coffee date something that should exist for women over 30, over 40? Because as I'm looking at the realm that I can date right now, what's attracted to me is like late 20s and like mid to late 50s. And oddly enough, the most fun I've had, and this is crazy, the most fun that I've had with someone, enjoying their company, has always been with women just a little bit older than me. But I still want to have children, and so that's where some of the conflict comes in. But I promise you, she's either 2 years, a year or 2 or 3 older than me. It's always been, those are my best memories when it comes to getting to know a woman.
I'd say this about that. I feel like you said, is it realistic? I feel like real is what you make it. It's your world. It's no such thing.
How far can I go before I'm in Delulu? How far will you let me go, Michael? Because
that's a good question, brother. But seriously though, like nobody can tell you what you should or shouldn't do, or like, I just like that young lady. She wants what she wants, and she gonna stand on business to get it. That's how you got to be. I want what I want. It may take a little bit longer than you, but at least I know when I find my person, that's gonna be my person. I don't want you to be 2-3 marriages in, like some people we know, and to finally find your person. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Listen, all right, potato princess, French fries, and a walking date. That listen, it could all be so simple.
And that works.
Fries from where?
Potato Town. What's the name of the place? It's Potato City, Potato Country, Potato Town. I think it's in Culver City. You never heard of it?
But that works because you work out. Going on a walk, like that's something like legit that you may be interested in doing. Somebody else may not be interested in doing that, but then there's women that are. For sure. And for me, I think I saw something about. I just got a alarm for you to do your abs, bro. I didn't know if you did them tonight or not.
I'll do them after the podcast.
Cool. No, but so it's, listen, a date could be anywhere. If I'm interested in a person, like legit, I don't give a shit where we going. Are you gonna be there? Oh, I'm gonna be there.
That's it.
We talked about that in the last podcast about how some people are dating because they found a person that they like versus other people are dating because they found someone that'll give them the life that they like.
Yes. That's why I feel like for me, the reason that me and Janae's first date, although the movie was trash and we didn't get to talk in the beginning, but we stayed 3-4 hours after the movie and just talked to each other because we were interested in each other. Like it didn't matter where we went because we wanted to get to know each other, and that's what a date is supposed to be. We wanted to gather as much data as possible about each other so we could set up this next date.
Yeah, I like that. Dulce said walking dates are helpful. Sitting down with stranger at dinner usually makes it seem like a job interview. Oh, a casual nature walk breaks the ice. That's a new perspective.
It is.
And just a precursor, like, we're going to go for this walk and talk. And at any point you don't like what's being said, just start walking in a different direction.
That's awkward. Or you can walk the same direction. We just don't have to be as close.
Nah.
That's awkward.
You got to get out of my space, nigga. You got to get out of my space.
I'm parked down here too.
A date means that you have access to my personal space. People don't just be in my personal space for no reason. What are we doing here? It's too close. All right, I can live with that. I appreciate that. All right, well then let's keep it pushing since walking dates are appropriate. This one right here, I'm gonna play all minute and 7 seconds of it because I got questions if this is legit.
A cheat code that not enough people talk about is how much you can learn about the man you're interested in by paying attention to what he feeds on. It goes without saying you are what you eat. So you can tell where this man is headed and where he plans on taking you before you even hop in the car, baby. Just pay attention. What is he reading? Does he read? What is he studying? Does he study? If he's listening to podcasts all day, what is he listening to? And more importantly, who is he listening to? What type of music does he listen to? Who are his friends? You can get a peek not only into his mind, but into his future by paying attention to his daily habits and what he is feeding on. I'm gonna be honest. I can tell where my husband is headed by his YouTube search history, by the books on his bookshelf, by the way he spends his time, by the things that he studies, how often he's at the mosque, who his friends are, how often they speak and what they speak about. We can even go as far as looking at his friends and what they're doing. Have they committed themselves to God? Have they committed themselves to a woman? And I'm talking about marriage. What are they reposting on social media?
I'm just going to say it like this. I feel like my net worth in the dating world went up now that my brother's married. Just going to say that. Yep. My brother's married. I hang out with married men. Now I'm getting to know Cars too. I hang out with 2 married guys now. So, hello.
Hello. Yo, so go ahead, babe. You got something?
I'm not good, baby.
Everybody tell me to go ahead, baby. That's fine.
Nah, you good. You'll be all right. Yo, so I it's certain parts of that I don't agree with. I'll tell you the parts I do agree with. A person's friends, you can tell a lot about that person by who they hang out with on a regular basis, right? But when she started saying like music and what he watches, I watch shoot 'em up movies every day, all day.
No, Mike. No. Be honest. What you watch on Instagram?
Working out stuff.
Nah, tell us what you told us yesterday. Tell us what you told me and Karsh yesterday. What's your guilty pleasure on Instagram?
Oh,
tell us. Tell everybody.
Golly. It's on YouTube.
It's stupid, whatever it's on. Go ahead.
Oh, it's the oh god. And it sounds bad too. It's the ASMR of dogs eating. The Pitbull babe that we watch.
Yeah. They be eating some crazy stuff. Yeah.
And I told him and Donnie, like, I sit there and watch it for like hours on end.
Jay, that didn't turn you off that this brother wants to watch dogs eat human food on YouTube for hours.
It's not human food. We're not eating that.
It's just raw. It's like raw, like deer ears. Or
yeah, they eat like pigtail. They eat liver.
You watching it too? You're too weird. Y'all deserve each other. Never mind.
Go ahead, watch it like I watch it. She watches it like
I watch it because he pets it on.
Yeah.
But also
anyway,
because we feed our dog like that. So like, why would we not watch it? We have to figure out what to buy the dog.
Yeah, I'll be sitting
I wouldn't
there.
know to buy the dog bull testicles. I wouldn't know to do that.
See?
But now I do.
I feel like this is a private conversation at this point. Go ahead.
What are we talking about here?
Right.
What was I saying?
You're talking about where you agree and where you disagree. You said when it comes to a guy, the music he listened to and stuff like that, you're having an issue.
So because I watch shoot 'em up movies all day and I listen to gangster rap in my car, that doesn't mean that I'm going to go rob the next liquor store I see. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna be mad and slap you across your face. You know what I'm saying? So I can't get
maybe so. How does Mike listening to the type of music he listens to make you feel? Does it make you feel safe that he has that hood side that he can tap into at any moment? Or I know she listens to.
I listen to more hood music than Mike does.
All right, Mike. How does it feel? Knowing that, golly.
No, we just had it. So what's so funny is we just had a situation just today, like literally about an hour before the show, and my neighbor was like, "Hey, somebody is by your truck." And my neighbor is a LAPD. So he's like, "Hey, somebody's up by your truck. I see him on the cameras. They're like dipping in and out of the carport." So immediately, you know what I do?
Wait, hold up. I'm finna turn this bitch up. I done beat with the best of them, falling on the rest of them. Never hit the ground when the shots right the best of them.
Exactly. So immediately I'm at the door because Janae hears me says, "I'm out the door." I don't even see her. I go, I leave the door, get what I need to get. I'm in the alley. I see the truck that they're in right by my truck. Next thing I know, I see her come in behind me. She got hers too. So at this point, I'm down the alley, like yelling at the truck. Turns out it was a whole misunderstanding. But nonetheless, but she knows though. She knows that, and I know that if it goes down, neither one of us have to.
I feel like that's more Jay, but this is good.
If it goes down, neither one of us have to worry about anything, and that's not because of what I listen to or what I watch. That's just the type of man that I am, and that's really what you need to get to the bottom of. Forget, like you can look at all of that stuff all day long, but you got to get to know your man, not just by looking. Talk to him, find out. Like looking is cool and paying attention is great. Like I'm not saying don't do it; it's great, but to base that just on what you see and what you perceive to be who he is, that's not enough.
Okay. So I went in my closet and grabbed a whole bunch of my books and stuff and pulled them out just in case, because I'm about to start dating. I just wanted to listen. I thought maybe if I just bring a few books out, just wild it hard, a little walk to. I just didn't know if that's what I needed to do. Go ahead, Jay.
What's crazy is you can say like, you know, what do people read? What are they, you know, watching? This and that, and I agree with that. Especially with the friend one for sure. But just how you pulled those books out, you can have all them books and not read one goddamn book.
Hello.
You know what I mean? Like I'm guilty of the same. I have a lot of self-help books that I buy because I want to read them, but I ain't got to read them all. I got a whole bunch though. They in the other room, but I ain't read them. But that doesn't mean I don't want to read them. That doesn't mean that I don't do these things.
So
it just means I ain't read them yet.
Let me ask you on the same page I guess she's on. What's a good indicator to tell where a guy is taking you? What should you pay attention to?
For me, I'm always going to say conversation and his actions. Do his actions match his words? Like if those two things can line up, then I can figure out that I can follow you. Yeah, you can lead me somewhere. If your actions match your words, that's it. Because at the end of the day, if whatever Mike watches on YouTube, Mike likes gun stuff. So if I'm only basing everything that
she would think I was freaking crazy.
I would think Mike was trying to shoot up the world or something.
You know Not the whole world. He did that already for 8 years.
This is also true.
Right. He watches, you know, a lot of stuff about guns, but that doesn't mean that he can't lead me. But I wouldn't have if you're basing everything off of stuff that you see and not a conversation. What are we doing?
And you got to pay attention because even Mike, I'll hit Mike up like, man, you know, we have our struggle with temptations, conversations. You know,
we just had one yesterday.
Yeah, it's like, so, you know, where am I at? You know, how do I get over this? Mike is like, man, I just start praying in the spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? When brothers hit me with something like that, that's not something you just grab out the air or from a different conversation. Like that's a personal conviction, right? And so for me, as a brother, I know that we can partner on certain things if you know that's a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As much as Mike likes guns, I feel like he just likes weapons because he's just as enthusiastic about guns as he is about praying in the spirit. Like for me in prayer, like he said, when I get up in the morning, homie, we turn on a sermon in the house. You know what I'm saying? I got me and Lil Denim in there worshiping, homie. I'm like, all right, for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can get into heaven talking like that, but I appreciate it down here.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
But I will say that I like the video. I do like the video for women who just have no sense of how to look at a man or what things to look for. Because then now you're like, okay, now she's at least giving you stuff to look for. That's not the end all be all. But it's it started the conversation. I think that's good. Because maybe some people don't know to look at that or look for that or not something that they would even consider.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm looking at. So let me see. We talked about this a while ago. We talked about what's wifey material, and I'm sure you heard the conversation, Jay. And I said that when what she cares about, what she wants to invest time talking about, for me, kind of is a great display of the material and the fabric that she's made of. And for me personally, what I would call wifey material would be certain things that you care about and want to have conversation and invest in, right? Because if I occupy such a deep place of peace, I didn't put the post up. I don't even know what I did with it. But it said that some men who've mastered their peace are not for little girls. You got to be careful how you cough around them, right? And so I was laughing at it, but I want to make sure I've never struggled with having a critical or a judgmental spirit of people. But as the more I've been working on myself, especially these last 2 years, I recognize that my standards are really clear. But I also want to stay flexible. You know what I'm saying to you? So when I'm looking at what they care about and whatnot, I think Mike has been a big benefit in saying, man, like, have conversations, or don't just come to conclusion in your head and just like, I'm out based on that.
Yep.
Jay, what would you say that I should pay attention to? As don't smile that big. What should I be highlighting more when it comes to a woman's words and behavior? Because I have a tendency to believe that for men, you guys might need to look at us that way because how men are, but how are women? How would you know if a woman was trying to run game on me or not a good fit for me? I asked you like 30 questions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So I would say trying to run game, not a good fit, is women who are using you for certain things, right? Like I've told you before, I had a friend back in the day, free food 2024.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't 2024. For her, not for me. But, you know, and it's crazy because although I don't feel like all women are this way, I think a lot of the women who want you to take them on these lavish dates, that's what they're there for. They're there to see like what you can do for them and not what you guys can do for each other or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I would say stuff like that. Like if someone's not okay with the coffee date, the ice cream, the kind of get to know you, for me, that would be a red flag because I don't know you. I'm just trying to see if we vibe together.
Babe, I didn't take you. I'm going to call bullshit.
Uh-oh.
I didn't take you on no $300, $400, $500 dates when we were dating?
Yes, I'm talking about first dates, babe.
Oh.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't play it nigga out here though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right.
You was wined and dined.
He already know. Let
me let you.
Daddy, how you take yourself off? I said, take my off.
I just wanted y'all to have y'all moment. It was cute. I just wanted I wouldn't support it. That's all. All right. So if that's the case, I asked you that question, Jay, because I wanted to line up this next video accordingly. Mike, Jay, check your Instagram. See if y'all got any questions coming through. I don't want to be.
I totally forgot about Instagram. My bad. Let me
Keisha said it. She said, right. No dates, no money, no moolah, no cheddar.
Nah, we good over my side.
All right. So let's get into it. You good too, Jay?
Yeah.
All right.
When y'all get on these socials and start talking about what you're not doing for your man because y'all not married, I be quiet. Because once we exclusive, baby, I'm going to give you 100% of me. If I cook, I cook. If I clean, I clean. Y'all get on the social and start talking about what y'all not going to do. And you be talking about the bare minimum. I'm not talking about putting nothing in my name. I ain't talking about moving him into my house. I'm not talking about none of that. Because, yeah, that's all stuff that you do after you get married. But me being me and being who I am, he's supposed to see what it is that he marrying into. Things ain't supposed to change. It's not supposed to be like, oh, let me go ahead and get her this ring so she can start cooking for me. Let me go give her this ring so she can start cleaning for me. Like, that's not how that works. I need him to see who I am before he asks me to marry him, because that's what it's going to be after, baby.
Hello. What y'all got?
I agree with that. I feel like you start to be a wife before you're a wife. Like, you have to hold that posture before you're given the title.
I feel that. What you got?
No, I was just trying to see if that idea that she gave out was perverted to the degree of why so many people feel entitled to these extravagant things on the first date.
Could be.
Because that idea was perverted. But anyway.
I came at it from a different vantage point. So these women that are in these relationships and talking about, I'm not married yet, so I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Y'all know it's other women on your page looking at this. The woman the woman that he worked with is seeing all of this. Oh, she don't cook? Watch what I bring to work tomorrow for this man. And that's how you get these work husbands, work wives, all this other funny shit, because y'all over here posting everything you don't do for your man when it's a woman waiting to take your spot. Can't wait to take your spot. And y'all telling them, Y'all tell them exactly how to do it. Bozo.
Well, there's that.
I think where that I guess mind frame comes from for a lot of women. I could be totally wrong, but I would believe that it comes from them having issues before. I have done this, and
hasn't worked.
I cheated on, and he's really good at me, this and that. So, and which is valid. That's very valid, because you operate from the space that the things that you know, things that you've experienced. And if that's all you've ever experienced, of course I'm not about to cook for you, because the last 5 men I've cooked for have done A, B, C, and D, So, yes.
Mr. Daniel.
Thank you. So let's talk. So you've been in situations where
who we talking to?
Me.
Not
okay.
You, not
all
you.
Right.
It's not always about you, Donovan. Nah, but so you've been in situations where you've had rough patches in relationships, you've been done wrong in relationships, you've been cheating on in relationships. Why then you didn't come into this relationship jaded, or even if you were jaded, you didn't treat me like I did something to you? I feel like to your point, some of these women are going into relationships like the new guy did what the old guy did. You know what I mean? So, and you're saying like they're valid to feel this way, but you didn't do that. So I kind of just want you to speak on how you were able to come into a new relationship. You have been done dirty in the past. You have been, you know what I mean? Your trust had been broken in the past. So how did you then come into a new relationship with like a fresh pair of glasses on?
Clean slate.
That's a really good question, and it's funny that you asked me that, because a lot of my friends have asked me that for years. Like,
yeah,
how do you just continue to like believe in these niggas? And that's really what it is. But it's because
you're 6'6".
No, it's because
very forgiving. You have a forgivable height.
Wow.
Forgivable height?
You're too tall for me to hold these things against you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's funny. So I would say for me is I always have believed in love. And that has never wavered. I've never wavered on that. And I know that just because one person did this and the next person did this doesn't mean everybody's going to do this.
Amen.
And then I have to also I had to look at myself like, okay, if you continue to get cheated on, then like you need to look at who you're picking, because I'm the common denominator here. Sheesh. So I need to look on who I'm picking, and then it goes even deeper than that. And, Mike knows this, and Don, you probably know this too, but like I had to also look at where does like this issue start? It started in my childhood. Yeah. My father stepped out on my mother. And mind you, my parents were married for like 26 years. And so like ended up getting a divorce after that.
Them ankles?
So it's just, but to answer your question, I've always believed in love. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt, I was going to find somebody for me who was going to treat me how I should be treated. I just knew it.
It took a while, but he got it. It took a while, but he got it together.
There you go. And that's why we're 6 days away. So,
hey. I should have wear my sash tonight. Where's my sash?
Go put your sash.
I know mine's right. Mine's over here, right in the bag. So
I appreciate this conversation because like I said before, I am per other people's feedback a very unique individual, and I think Pookie's even said it. I enjoy not playing by the rules. I live in my own world, which I invite people into, but I don't force anybody to stay. Don't try to manipulate people. But I've lived so much life and I've reached such a level of contentment and peace that I like to explore and walk around without any kind of deep agenda as it pertains to other people, what I want other people to do, without trying to control other people. And so it does allow me a lot of freedom in my personal life. And I want to be able to take that with me into the dating space, at the same time having these conversations with you to talk about why I may be hesitant to do it. And when she talks about just being 100% herself, you guys know in my last relationship I was kind of hit with a few things that were, you can't be doing all that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I took it as, you can't be doing all that, Don, when I should have interpreted that you can't do all that with me. And I think that's the part I have to remember moving in. If somebody's not okay with how I move and how I act, it's okay to say, oh, okay, well, this is honestly who I am. Within the scope of, this is how much flexibility and room that my authenticity holds. And it's okay. And not trying to force to make something be something that it's not intended to be. But also still having the conversation and looking within yourself to see, am I just being egotistical or stubborn, or is this really just beyond my wheelhouse? I think one of the things that I wrote down when I went to took myself out to Valentine was the first thing I wrote down is, what did I learn? Not to try to convince someone that I am the one.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, if you don't feel it, that ain't it. Let's just let it be. But again, Mike knows my past, where it's like, oh, you don't like me? I took it as a challenge instead of confirmation that this ain't the space.
That's good. Golly.
Yeah. There will always be evidence of desire or the absence of desire. And believe it when you see it. Okay. All right, let's do this then. I love this right here. So first, before we go into that, let's do this one first. This one says, the more you heal, the finer you get. I don't make the rules. So someone asked me, did Jay go into, was she in therapy before she met Mike? And was she already healed or going through a healing journey? He's like, yeah. Now, when she met Mike, I said yes. And she met Mike. Mike started doing therapy and stuff. Did Mike become finer with every therapy session?
That's good. That's good. So I don't know if y'all don't know, but Mike's been finding me since day one. So does he get finer with every therapy session? I wouldn't say finer on the outside, but on the inside, yes. So it's like he's like so open, and like we're able to talk about everything. So yes, I would say, yeah, I guess you could say yes, but I don't know how to say it because he's already fine. But I guess his heart is finer.
Yeah, boy. That's it right there. Let that soak in. Soak in.
Look, Rashonda said it right there. Safety is sexy. Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
yes, that is good.
Yes, it is.
Listen, one of my exes did not feel safe with me, and so that's probably why. I don't care how many muscles you got and how curly your hair is, bro. Yeah. I need some safety.
Safety is sexy.
Safety is sexy.
So that's one to put in your books, not in the literal books, but as you're stepping out into dating, that's a good one to remember.
So hold on, though. I also going to remember that I can't make everybody safe.
Yeah, some people.
So let me put the caveat in there. Like some people, like
everybody safe. Not everybody's.
I told somebody that. I said, listen, my goal is not to make everybody around me safe. Some people need to feel it.
Yeah.
They need to feel every piece of the army that's with me. They need to feel every bit of let me walk on eggshells. They need, because you out of pocket and you need to learn how to operate in my space, right? But that's not so much how to bully people with, but it is a hard line that I need to make sure I stand on. And at the same time, even the way I try to protect my woman may not be like, so check it out, man. My name, Donovan, means dark warrior, right? And Donnell means ruler of the world, warrior as well. So there's a lot of.
I knew it was a reason why we got along so well. That shit is hard, dude.
Both my names.
Warrior?
Yeah,
that shit hard.
Dark warrior chieftain.
Yeah.
And then Donnell has to do with royal ruler and also warrior. So there's this thing inside of me, right? There's this feeling, this energy that God put inside of my makeup. And so the way that I move, I need to be more understanding of how I would need a woman warrior as well. My idea was thinking from Disney that I just need me a damsel, and that's why I went wrong.
Wow, that's deep. Wow. So you went after the ones in distress.
And if you see some of these Disney movies and some of these other movies, when the warrior comes and tries to save the damsel, he usually becomes very stressed because there's a lot. If you go back and watch them, I had to do some research. I'm like, oh shoot. She wants that man to be more tame, to be more civilized, and she wants, it's a lot of just like, anyway, I'm not gonna go down that path, but yeah. And I appreciate one of my favorite things that happened to me in the last few weeks was we were at the gym, all three of us, and we were doing the tricep I mean, we were doing a shoulder exercise, and I got a video of Mike and Jay working out at the same time. When I saw myself recording it, I was like, yo, this is it. Jay is doing her front shoulder, Mike is doing his pulls, and they're just like, you just see them both like, I was like, this is a beautiful sight. I'm happy you put that in the clip. Because that, for me, that meant a lot, but it gave me a glimpse into the possibility of a desire that I have.
And that right there, like, now that you said it, that right there is like a great depiction of our relationship, like, and how I feel like relationships can be made a little bit easier. She's doing her machine, I'm doing my machine, but we both have the same goal. We're both trying to get stronger. We're both trying to, cut body fat. We're both trying to build muscle. You know what I mean? And we're both in there working as hard as we can. We still both got the same goal. We still there together, right?
It's good.
We're still encouraging one another. We're still, hey, babe, you're doing a great job. Hey, that was a good set. This, and that.
So I like this a lot, man. So maybe this is direction we can go in for a moment. Oh, shoot. Danielle said, I always ask, are my emotions safe with you? So that kind of safety, I feel like hits different.
Yes.
When did you, or how do you verify, about to call you Nikki, Jay, if it all works, if your emotions are safe with a man?
That's a good question. I don't even know if I have like a answer off the top of my head. I think it's something I have to think about.
Yeah, you could come back on the podcast,
Right. How are my emotions safe? So I would say, just thinking about it, like my emotions being safe ties to everything else being safe as well, right? Is this a safe space for me? Is there a safe space in your heart for me? And I don't think that I felt fully safe with Mike until he started to do his therapy, his work, and kind of uncover his things. Because if we're in a relationship, I can only be as good as he is, right? Because he's the head. So I can only be as good as he is. And so that safety didn't come until I think Mike fully felt safe with himself. If that makes sense.
Jesus. That's good.
That's so crazy.
Off the dome. Off the heart, let me say.
And that's exactly in my mind. That was the answer that I felt that she was going to give. When I finally started to feel safe and secure within me and who I was and who I wasn't anymore and who I wanted to be, I feel like I could see her start to, trust me more. I could, as far as decisions being made, I can see her start to kind of, relax a little bit and just be able, because it's difficult for a woman to be feminine if she doesn't feel safe with you. Like all these guys want this feminine woman, and they oh, you so you're so what did it say?
Demure.
Donnie called me that, by the way,
because you had your sash on. You was acting real demure, my nigga.
Good, that's good. Very cutesy, very demure.
Exactly.
No, but when guys feel like women are too masculine or women act like men, you gotta ask yourself, like, have you created a space for her to be feminine?
Listen, so check this out. Jay, your Filipino sister said, he handles your vulnerability with care. He creates a judgment-free space. He doesn't use your feelings against you. He shows emotional maturity. Most importantly, I feel safe within me after the vulnerability and the show of emotions.
Cool.
That's good. That's good. But I think that's so good, but it needs to go both ways. Like both people have to.
Let's talk about it.
That.
I was about to say that because I feel like my emotions, like I've never been like an emotional. We talked about this last night at dinner, me, Carson, and Donnie. What was that, Carson? But anyway, I've never been like an emotional guy to where I'm crying. It's always just been, I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna handle it. But since I've met Janae, like all of that has went out of the window because she created that space for it to. Like I could shed a tear and look over and you're not looking at me crazy. Like, what's wrong with you? Like I can, like today, what was the video? We were watching a video about babies and
the daughter gave the dad a kiss.
The baby, she had to be like a month old and she gave the dad a kiss and I just broke down crying. You know what I'm saying? But I know she's not going to look at me like, why are you crying? She's not going to think I'm soft. She's not going to think. right. I'm not going to get one of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just, but like Janae said, it goes both ways. Like both parties have to create that space. It's not about just a man creating the space for a woman to feel safe. Men got to feel safe too. Have that, like. But so many times it's like, feel safe. A man feeling safe. You the man. You supposed to make me feel.
Let me tell you, one of my friends told me earlier this week. He said, and I've been thinking about it all week. He says, a woman finally gets to rest when she gets married. A man finally gets to rest when he dies. And he said it shouldn't be that way. But that's what culture is trying to push you to believe.
I'm like, that sounds so terrible. When you said that, I was
but like, when you think about some of the situations that culture tries to put men in as a responsibility, it is giving a lot of put your rest and happiness at the very end of your priority list.
Yep.
If she's okay, then you've succeeded as a man. If you're not okay, you'll rest when you're dead. It's being pushed, man, and a lot of brothers are believing it. You can see the way that they're moving. That's why this trick movement has gone where it's going. That's why a lot of this entitlement has gone where it's going, because we're operating unknowingly by what's being pushed through movies and media, that rest and happiness should not be essential for a man.
You know what's so crazy? That just came to me when you said that this tricking movement. So it's so crazy how it's a revolving door with that. So these men, we're out here tricking our money. We're basically trying to buy love, right? We're trying to buy,
rent.
Yeah, say that, because they don't always stay.
Rent, nigga.
We just want to feel wanted. We want to feel needed. We want to feel appreciated.
Nigga, we want to feel safe too. Just call it what it is.
So we're going to spend all the money we can possibly spend. But what that's saying to women is, all men need to be doing that. So if you're not buying me this, if you're not flying me out, then I don't want you. Right? So now it's just revolving. The men doing this, the women doing this, the men doing this, and it's just like.
And the cool thing about it though is, like, I've gotten to a place where I have an abundance of joy, happiness, peace, contentment, and safety within myself, which makes me hella protective of the people that I will let into my space. I've gotten really good at setting boundaries for the most part. But it is an interesting dynamic that I'm happy that I can talk about it, because I know my nephews and stuff are listening to this podcast, to let them know, like, that you don't have to rent it like that, bro. You should definitely find a way. And I'm not saying it's anybody else's responsibility to make you feel safe or to make you get rest. I have a Sabbath I keep. I have priorities and routines that I keep. I was talking with my friends the other day about how I would love to increase my income, but not my responsibilities. And I'm trying to find a way to do that, because I don't want to have more and more responsibilities just to be known as the man who did it all, just to be known as the man who broke his back for his family. Just like there's another way. Stop trying to sell me on this underlining slave mentality. Even in my marriage, you won't let me escape the mentality. You're trying to give me a new set of owners, and ultimately it's not God's order. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, golly, sheesh.
You got to see the programming that's happening, man. The agenda has always been people control, right? That's why witchcraft is about controlling other people. That's why, government and politics is about controlling people. That's why when we look at these apps and we look at, what's being pushed through media, it's about mind control. And when you wake up to what's happening, you start to see where exactly you're susceptible to. And you got to start breaking that mold, breaking that tether, and breaking that tether, separating yourself from the things that influence you to a greater degree than they should. Separating from technology for a little bit, fasting from certain foods, fasting from certain activities, just so you can stay within the consciousness of your own behavior. It was pushing your own behavior. So Yeah.
That's
I like
fact.
that. I like that, brother Scoops. He said men need to stop leading with their wallets.
Fact. What up, JT? It creates a like a never ending cycle of you always having to outdo yourself almost, right? So you take them to a restaurant, $150, and then it's like they get used to that, and now you're like, oh shoot, let me spend some more money to impress them even more. So now we're going $250, now we're going $350. Now I gotta fly you out here. Now and then you become broke, and then what do? When you can't provide the lifestyle,
because they were never into you. They just wanted the lifestyle, and they just trying to find somebody to take them.
Or you created the monster.
You say that often.
All the time. You created this monster, brother. So now when you can't give her what you made her used to, what's she supposed to
do? Appreciate that it was done before.
That's what
say it's okay.
1000%. That's what you should do. But unfortunately,
I got a text message, man, about going a little bit deeper into this emotional responsibilities, emotional imbalance that sometimes exists in relationships. So I want to put this video up real quick, and let's go down a different path in our last 20 minutes of tonight's episode.
And it shows up in ways that's not just monetary. Women who are overconsumptive emotionally, meaning there's an expectation, you the man in my life, especially when they get with brothers that do have some level of feminine balance and we are able to navigate our emotions. There's almost an expectation, you need to carry my emotions for me. Yeah. It don't matter how many days out of the month. I remember I asked you one time, how many days out of the month you feel like you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? 2 or 3, and you felt like that was a lot. I'm like, bruh. Men are dealing with women that half the month, if not more, is waking up on the wrong end of the bed, expecting him to just deal with it, move around it, circumvent it, navigate through it, and still go get the bag. And still not feel a way about it, and still not being able to engage with his woman sexually. I mean, because we got to talk about the other end of the spectrum. We always advocate for women being able to say, not right now. But if you're dealing with a woman that's so bogged down by her own emotions and expecting that man to just deal with it, this is where you have. I'm not going to say who it was, but one of my good male friends, they got pregnant. They ain't have sex for 3 years. Yeah. And he's doing all this other stuff while navigating her emotions. So it's not just the monetary overconsumptive energy. It shows up in so many different ways through our relationship.
You want to go back? Go ahead.
You can go.
No, go. I feel like you got something good.
No, all I was going to say was that's a lot. It goes back to, I think about stuff like this, especially when it comes to the monetary side, is men, we had to rely on you years ago because we could not work. So that the whole men are supposed to take care of everything because you had to. We didn't have a choice. We couldn't have a job. We couldn't work. We couldn't bring money to the house. So yes, we had to rely on you to do that. Then I think so now that we have a job, or we can have a job, the expectation is still there, but then the expectation grows to, oh, now you have to take care of me financially and then also my emotions and A, B, C, and D. But no one ever teaches on the other side. I won't say no one. Sometimes on the other side, women don't know how to do that because you have to provide the same thing. For sure. You have to still take care of his emotions. And so if I'm not mistaking what he was saying, because I was texting a little bit through that. He's saying that men have to take care of monetary the household plus her emotions, how she's feeling, A, B, C, and D, and then have to kind of let go of his own. I just don't think that's not a way to have a relationship. That's not what relationships were designed for.
I'll tell you that it's easy to get caught up in that, though, especially when you are under the wrong training and tutelage and our definition of what a man is. And I've been in those situations before where I have a lot of peace, like I said before, but then it's almost like having extra money and somebody sees you with extra money, like, oh, let me spend that for you. Like, you know what I'm saying to you? And I think that I've heard it said before, like, oh, you're like the peace, you're the calm to my storm. And my question was like, well, I understand as a partner holding that down for you, but why so many storms? You know what I'm saying to you, and not to judge them, but what it really should have been was that I need to know my limit. Like at some point, it's too much for me. But it's hard for a man to say that. That's almost like in the gym. Like I can't lift that, but I want to be able to lift that. I love you so much. I want to be able to lift that. But at some point, you got to recognize that. I had to recognize that you're just not the man for the job. You know what I'm saying to you? And I think that is part of the weight that I was trying to put on myself to carry to I can provide in every aspect, not leaving room for God, not leaving room for accountability. Just making sure I'm just going to, this is my princess and I'm going to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. Killing myself. I can see it in my pictures. Standing next to her like, nigga, you need sleep, you need rest, you need a hug. And you can't get any of that, right? You know what I'm saying? When you come and you see me, you know what I'm saying? The first thing you do is just talking about how bad your day was. I can't get a hug. I can't get a breath with you. I can't breathe you in. I can't do forehead time with you real quick before we even dive into that. 'Cause that's not what you're thinking about. But that feeds me. That nourishes my soul. I've been deprived of you all day and all I wanted to do was see you. And then when I see you, I got to deal with everything that had to touch you today. And I can't touch you first before we get into that. Because you're not even conscious of it, right? You know what I'm saying? That's a hard place to live in, but you know, it ain't the first time I had to deal with hard things. So you just took it on the chin, like this is just a way of life, and now start to normalize unhealthiness.
Yep. I experienced similar situation with my son's mom. You know, just that being in physically abusive, mentally abusive, spiritually abusive, socially abusive, all the abusives you could think of, but being programmed to think that to be a good husband or to be a good man, you got to put up with this. You got
responsibility.
Yeah, you got to love her through it. It's your responsibility. Like this is what men's men do. Yeah. Like you just said, they take that hit to the chin and they keep moving forward. And maybe the next day I'll buy her some roses and she'll feel better, and we can go on about our lives, or I'll cook for her so she'll like me again. And you know, and you just literally you're living in despair, all behind this false sense of being a man.
Yeah.
Or being a partner to your woman, or bring a husband to your woman. Like, no.
And I don't want to say, like, one of my friends checked me, like, yeah, don't call her sensitive, don't call her overly emotional. It's a mismatch for you and your capacity. You know what I'm saying to you? Because I don't want to, just because I feel like I can handle a situation, now condemn or judge another person for being more than what I can handle.
I get that, but some people are not handleable. I'll make that word.
Not handleable.
Like, it's some people that I agree with that way, and then there's some people you need to go to therapy. Period.
Should I play it?
Most people.
Hold on, Mike. Okay. Mike said it, so we got to play it, Jay. I'm sorry, because Mike put it out there.
You need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy. Get yourself in therapy. I'm working on my trauma. I'm letting out my trauma. I'm releasing my trauma.
Release. All right, go ahead, Jay.
All I'm going to say is that most people in this world need to go to therapy. Therapy it's not like you go one time and it's fine. I've been going to therapy since I was 13 years old, off and on. I put myself in therapy different times. And I'm now 36. So, yeah, therapy is an ongoing
Got
thing.
You a young one. Sorry. Because Mike is over 40.
Peter Pan had Tinkerbell. Kept him young.
All right.
Huh?
All right. Huh? Listen. All right.
Just because you want Aunt Esther.
Listen, the older ones just.
I know. I remember you just said that. Yeah.
How? I'm like, golly, old soul.
I'm trying to figure it out. Just go get her.
Yeah, I know. So check this out. So now we're on that same line because we're about to end the show up, but this is good because we're moving in a direction I want to kind of end in. But we're talking about this emotional, but sometimes it's not that the person lacks accountability or responsibility. There's some things going on with them, right, that have them in a space of where they are too much. And you know, the phrase, it really hits me sometimes that we make up a new phrase to avoid accountability. And one of them was, if I'm too much, go find less. And I think that I understand what the phrase is saying, but I think that if it's perverted, you are avoiding responsibility. If you feel like I'm too much, go find less. And I'm like, I get it, but let's have a conversation. So I want to talk about both ends of when a man or a woman is overly emotional, or sensitive, or easily triggered, or whatever you want the word to be, how that can impact somebody. So here's a video for you guys.
Don't marry and don't date crazy. The number one influencing factor to a man's success or failure in life is who they choose as a spouse. And if you're one of those guys that, like, I'm a Captain Save-A-Ho, don't be a motherfucking Captain Save-A-Ho, because when you get married to this chick and when you try and start a life with her, she's going to constantly be this tornado of problems each time you're trying to do something big, and you're going to realize, I can't start that company, I can't make those millions, I can't transform people's lives, I can't serve humanity, because each time I try, she is taking a massive shit on my life. Find someone that will back you up. Find someone that will say they believe in you. They will advocate for you. And when you do, be so fucking awesome to her that all she wants to do is support you and be your one-woman pit crew. And if you can do that, I'm telling you, man, you will force multiply the impact and income that you will make in life. Did
you guys get all that? You need to run it back? Or you good?
Yeah, run that back.
All right.
Don't marry and don't date crazy. The number one influencing factor to a man's success or failure in life is who they choose as a spouse. And if you're one of those guys that, like, I'm a Captain Save-A-Ho, don't be a motherfucking Captain Save-A-Ho, because when you get married to this chick and when you try and start a life with her, she's going to constantly be this tornado of problems each time you're trying to do something big, and you're going to realize, I can't start that company, I can't make those millions, I can't transform people's lives, I can't serve humanity, because each time I try, she is taking a massive shit on my life. Find someone that will back you up. Find someone that will say they believe in you. They will advocate for you. And when you do, be so fucking awesome to her that all she wants to do is support you and be your one-woman pit crew. And if you can do that, I'm telling you, man, you will force multiply the impact and income that you will make in life.
Don't date crazy, huh?
So this one really can it be deleted? No. This one really made me think. There's a quote that my mentor told me, that intentions are great, but capacity is king. And I think that it's okay for the women I've come across to want what they want, but to want me to do something while simultaneously draining me of the energy to do it is nasty work. I don't understand how you want this and I want to give it to you, but you can't see the connection between the environment you're creating and my ability to be able to do the things for you that you want. Like you don't what I am human. So if you don't prioritize my rest, if you don't, think it's important for me to focus on what I'm focused on, and you want me to give you all these things and I want to give them to you, at what point of responsibility do you take as far as watering the person that you're with, man or woman, instead of just a lack of like self-control?
Yeah. No, I feel that. I think my biggest issue with what he was saying about the don't date crazy, one, I don't like using that word crazy, because like that's a diagnosis that I can't give to somebody unless I'm like licensed and I've gone through, the classes to be able to diagnose crazy. And it's not even a medical term, but you know what I mean? Like, but like with me and Denham's mom, it wasn't about crazy. Like from the outside looking in, it was crazy, but there's really bipolar disorder. Like that's a whole nother ball game, right? And there's things that I didn't really see when we were, whether I didn't see it or I chose not to see it, but that I didn't really see until we got married. And then a lot of stuff started coming out. I don't know if she became more comfortable. I don't know if, I triggered her to some kind of way. I don't really know how bipolar disorder works per se, but it's easy to say don't date crazy. But I think it's another thing to actually date crazy and then see like even now, thinking back to when we dated, I didn't really see too many crazy moments like I saw when we were married.
So I got to put this out there, man, because it can be perspective, right? It's relative to the person that's dealing with it. If I grew up in a very volatile home, crazy, for me to call something crazy is going to be a far stretch from someone who grew up maybe in a more healthy, more stable environment, right?
Yeah.
Growing up without a father, growing up in South Central LA, becoming a male exotic dancer, living the thrill-seeking life that I lived, you got to do a whole bunch for me to start wondering, like, is this person crazy? You know what I'm saying to you? So because it's so relative, I wonder if we have a hard time identifying if someone else is quote unquote crazy. How does that mirror work? How can we tell, like, if I'm the one here that's causing the tornadoes, causing the storms, and how do I begin to take responsibility? How do I become aware of that and then take responsibility for it?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
That's even the harder thing. I'm saying that's like the harder thing to do. Is because if it's you have to first know to even identify that it's you. Like, can you identify it? Because most people who are the ones doing something, they normally act like the victim.
So talk about that, Jay. Where does the denial come from?
Oh, that's a great question. But I don't know. I have no idea because it started in your upbringing, where you were coddled and no one ever told you no, or no one ever told you you were wrong because you were, I don't know, the baby of the house and you were the only boy. And so your mom, you know how moms can be sometimes with their boys.
Yeah.
They always can do no wrong, so you could have started there. You don't know where it started, but as an adult, it's up to you to be able to say, you know what, again, I'm the common denominator here.
Yeah.
So where something's wrong with me. If you can't do that, if you can't self-identify, that's the problem.
I think that a lot of times, at least for my situation, when I should have self-identified and didn't, and I didn't learn about all of this until therapy. But I think for me, it was I had lied to myself for so long, I believed it.
Yeah.
That's like a real thing. People don't believe how real that is, but that's a real thing.
But I think that it's even deeper when you lie to yourself and other people are lying to you as well. Yeah, I think when they come along and support it, because at some point, I think that initially the behavior that you wanted to exhibit, you felt it inside of yourself like, oh, this is questionable. But then when you get on social media, you get around people who don't really have your best interest at heart, they gas you up. They're like, girl, you deserve that. If he wanted to, he would. And you start pushing these quotes and these cliches, and it's almost like you feel like it's justification for you to go in there and talk crazy, act crazy, be crazy. You know what I'm saying to you? Because if he loves you, he's gonna match your crazy, and that's how you show that I'm passionate about you. If I stab your tires, if I throw your clothes out, like if I come to you like it's a man's responsibility as my partner to hold me down emotionally. So if I had a rough day at work, it doesn't matter that I got into 5 or 6 conversations that I shouldn't have gotten into. It doesn't matter that I was in somebody else's business. It doesn't matter that I was texting and driving and I almost hit somebody and they said something to me, so I cussed them out because they don't need to be talking to me like that. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever I did in the world, I need to come back and be able to dump it on you, and you, my man, need to be able to be like, it's all good, baby. You can do no wrong.
Makings of a narcissist right there. That's how you make a narcissist. Because
damn, how to build a narcissist.
Listen,
baby, you can do no wrong.
Like, jeez.
I like this. Danielle said lack of self-awareness and self-regulation. But what school is teaching that? Where we learn that at?
Yeah, and that's a great question. I didn't learn any of that until since I was therapy, and because I'm inquisitive, I like to understand people, and so I knew from a young age if I need to understand other people, I need to understand myself first. But yeah, it's not taught, and it should be. But that's why you need to go to therapy.
I learned some good self-awareness, since I learned some really good self-regulation. Self-awareness came a little bit later from my mom as a child. Yeah. She was a good parent, She parented me like I was born in the 80s, but she also parented me like I was born in 2025. She had conversations with me, as well as, you know, the whoopings that I got in my whole life. Like, she balanced them out well, right? You know what I'm saying? She knew how to have a conversation with me, but she knew also, okay, you're at this place now where you ready to get popped in the mouth. You know what I'm saying to you? So I think I learned self-regulation, which is really the study of behavioral consequences.
Yeah.
Because you're starting to recognize that you can choose the choice, but you can't choose the consequence. So choose with the consequence in mind to the best of your ability, and that is the beginning of learning how to regulate. Because you're looking at, what is this going to cost me to now act in this way? I can't hear you, Mike. You on mute?
Yeah, you're on mute.
I said that's dope. Choose with the consequence in mind. So if I turn left or if I turn right, let me choose which way to go with the consequence in mind. Like, I see all these potholes over here to the left. It's clear to the right. I know it may be quicker for me to get where I need to go if I turn left, but is the consequence of possibly busting the tire, popping a rim, is it worth it to get to where I want to go faster?
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm gonna my middle school basketball team. I'm gonna share that with them. That's really good.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I don't know, babe, I don't know if you remember, babe, but when I met Mike because I was heading a program for a local high school for boys. It's called Choices, and that's the same thing. That was like the premise of it is don't make a choice that basically you can't come back from.
Yeesh.
Same thing, yeah.
Delusion is thinking that you can play and always come back home.
Ooh.
Not everybody makes it back. I tell people that about, you know, they're doing interviews about the strip club and stuff. And I said, people, you can play with these dark worlds and these dark shadow figures and all that kind of stuff if you want to. But just because they made it back doesn't mean you're going to make it back.
And some people build their whole life around, well, so-and-so did it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but you have to, you have to weigh that out with your on the scale of your calling and your purpose, because you're not going to be allowed to do everything everybody else called to do, because you have a different purpose and calling in your life, and so everything may not fly for you, you know, as unfair as it may seem in the moment. Thank you, McJellin. Regulators.
Oh no.
All right, so we're at 9:59. Y'all want to do this last video, or are we good for the night?
Let's get it. Oh, baby, good.
All right, we're good.
All right, this is the last one for the night.
I don't believe in unconditional love. You can't just love someone no matter what they do. I mean, damn, there have to be conditions, right?
Of course, no one should allow anyone to treat them badly or accept abuse of any kind. But that's not what unconditional love is about. It's about having empathy while erasing judgments. No strings attached. It's selfless. It's reciprocal and real. It's not a myth. Based on what you just shared with me about your upbringing, sounds like something that you didn't receive as a child. I mean, your mother didn't choose you when it came to your stepfather. Your father chose addiction over you, at least in your eyes. Has anyone ever said to you, I love you, I'm here for you, and I'm not leaving no matter what?
No. No one.
Maybe that's why you don't believe it exists. Because for you, it never has.
Yeah, I'm mute again, babe.
No, hold on. We can hear you. You were just shaky.
Okay.
Oh no, I was saying, babe, you mind if I go again? Go first.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, I did not believe in unconditional love. I thought that was something that only God could do, and that was it. Until I really started to understand love and unconditional love. Unconditional love doesn't mean I stay in a relationship and let you tear me down and beat me down and just do whatever you want to me. Unconditional love means, although we have to separate And although we can't be in this relationship, doesn't mean I'm gonna stop loving you. It may, the romantic side of it may leave, but I'm gonna always love you. Just like, let's use denim as an example. A lot of people say there's nothing in this world that can stop me from loving my child. And for me, that's 1000% correct. It's nothing that denim can do where I'll ever stop loving him. It's stuff he can do where I'll cut him off. It's stuff he can do where I say, hey, I gotta love you from a distance. It's stuff that he can do that say, I gotta, like, I can't get you out of jail. You did this, you need to sit there and rot for the rest of your life. It's stuff like that, but I'll never stop loving you. I'll always be here for you. I'll always love you. To me, that's what unconditional is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's the best example I got. And even with Janae, yeah, there's stuff that she can do where it's like, hey, you know, maybe we gotta rethink the relationship. But for somebody to sit here and tell me you'll never, or you'll stop loving her, I'll never stop loving Janae. Like I said, the romantic side may dwindle, the flame may die, but the love will always be there because she's imparted so much into me. Like, she's helped me become the man that I am. How can I not love her forever?
That was really good. Mine's very similar. I was gonna say that unconditional love doesn't mean, and I had to learn this, doesn't mean that you allow a person to walk over you and you still continue to love them no matter what. But like you said, it goes into understanding, empathy, and a lot of hard conversations, you know.
I like the definition he gave. It really sounded like, you know, he was saying like just removing condemnation from the situation, right? It doesn't mean you have to remove, you know, self-preservation, but you're going to remove some condemnation from it with no strings attached and just allow it to be what it is. I think what helps me, and I said this to my friends years ago, that the reason people struggle with forgiveness is because they struggle with amnesia. Sometimes we forget some of the things that we've done and where we were at that age or in a season of our life. And because we struggle with amnesia, we struggle with forgiveness. It's easier to sit in a seat of empathy with someone when you are in a consistent or gradual place of gratitude for where God has brought you from. And I think it's easier to understand, like, yeah, like when I hear people say off the wall stuff, I'm just like, yeah, I can see how I could have done that. I can see where I could remember where I did do something similar to that. Yeah. Or I've been in a dark place and done some things I never thought I would do also. And it doesn't excuse the behavior, but it does get rid of the condemnation that will actually interrupt the flow of love that I really want to give this person, or the person may need the most in that moment. It doesn't mean you rescue them.
Yeah. Sometimes, you let them sit in it. Yeah, you need to feel everything you're about to feel. You need to feel that.
Yeah.
You got to. It's the pressure, just like when the baby is coming out of the baby bird is coming out of the egg. The mother sits there and watches that little baby struggle to get out. It don't help peel the shell back. It don't crack the shell for him. No, you got to struggle and struggle. And sometimes it could take hours. And the baby is screaming and he wants to get out. The mother just sits there and watches him because you need that struggle. That's the only thing that's going to help you grow.
I think that conversations like this are necessary. You know, as we pulling up on 6 days away from the it's crazy. Look, he said Jay and Mike nodding like twins. Danielle said Jay and Mike, y'all give me hope. With this wedding being so close, and we talk about the wedding vows and stuff that some people believe in, some people just like, you know, just verbally let you know where my commitment is. I think exploring the definitions of things like conditional love are important to helping people understand where they stand with a person and also where someone stands with them. I think from the gate, it starts to set a foundation of trust, from an understanding, a clearer understanding. I think a lot of beautiful words are used in these moments with these ceremonies and all that kind of stuff, and people want to get emotional, and it's more of a hype fest versus I really know what I'm walking into and walking away from and what I can expect. And I think like the way he sat down and told her what it was really did set a precedence for, okay, I know that I can feel safe here, or, oh, that's what it is. That doesn't work for me. And I think those are the kind of conversations that really, you know, I love that we have on this podcast, because I know that they reach people. We're having some practical conversations. We're not pro anybody. We just want to talk about some things. And if you can walk away with something valuable, then thank God.
man. It's good.
Man. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached that time where we're done. We gave y'all an extra 7 minutes. Somebody put in here earlier, how do we get Jay back on here again? What's the number to call if you want Jay back on the podcast? And here's the number, 988 is the number you can call. Tell them that maybe this will help the podcast doesn't have women on enough. And maybe they can help you with that personal crisis. No, but for real though, jump in our DMs on Instagram. Jump in our email at maybe this will help podcast@gmail.com and let us know what you thought about tonight's episode with having Jay on. We would love to have her on again. This is the only female or woman guest that we are even considering having on, even though we're looking at some other guys, because you guys know how the premise of the show was set up, but it seemed only right because she adds so much value behind the scenes that we wanted to make sure that she came on, and she didn't even know until a few hours before the show.
Someone forgot to tell me.
Yeah, so it was we appreciate you, Jay. Mike will show you his appreciation on Sunday, but for me, I'm just going to give you your flowers right now. God is good. Jay, you want to leave us with any final words? Anything you want to say about the podcast, anything you want to think about mental health, whatever it is, you know how the end of the show works.
I would like to say thank you everybody for watching. It's been really cool to be on here with you guys, and I would love to come back if you guys have me at one point. And I would like to tell everybody that just continue to push. If you want to be in a relationship and that's what you desire, you will find that person for you.
For sure, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know how it goes, man. If anything we said tonight rubbed you in a way that made you want to reach out to someone for help or support, whatever it may be, with a personal crisis, 988 is the number you can call, or you can reach out to online and chat with them. Just put it in the search bar in Google or call it from your phone. You can connect it to a mental health resource, therapists, support groups, psychiatrists, whatever it may be. Even if it's not you that has a crisis, maybe it's someone you know. And I say this often, I want to continue to say it. Just because you care doesn't mean you know how to care. You can make things worse. So you may want to call them and say, hey, my friend's struggling with depression. My friend's having suicidal thoughts. My friend's going through a breakup and they're going down a dark place. What can I do? What are the best practices to really helping them get back on path? How can I be a good friend in this moment and not walk in and try to control their situation or make it more burdensome than it already is? So it's a good resource to have. Keep it on deck. Screenshot this, save it, send it to your friends who may need it as well. Make sure you share this post on your page, share this podcast, tonight's episode on your page. We get a lot of feedback from people who watch this the day after or the week after, and this is still beneficial and it's helpful. So we thank you guys for joining us tonight. And who's praying us out?
That'll be you.
That'll be me. All right, let me get my exit video ready. So when I'm done, here we go. Father God, we thank you. We thank you, Father God, for these two forever friends, these two lovers, these forever Daniels, that you saw fit, that their path should cross, God. You brought them through a lot, from a lot, different areas, but you saw fit that one day that they would connect, and you knew what would happen from that, and you've covered them and protected them and ensured that this day would come to pass, Father God, through the doubt, through the self-sabotage, Father God, through the attacks of the enemy. You strengthened the angels assigned to their care and brought them to your destined place. With all the promises you have in store for them, Father God, everybody on this podcast, we just pray protection over them. We thank you for your grace that's already covered them, but we just thank you that you've gone before them, that their path may be straight, that they will occupy every piece of territory that you've destined for them to have. We thank you for the love that they have for each other that is rooted in you. We thank you for the children that may come. We thank you for the transitioning that they will make in their private and public lives, Father God. May it all be to glorify you and honor you. We thank you that you've increased their patience for one another, their grace for one another, their love for one another, Father God, that they will learn new things about the depths of love, the depths of their hearts as they join together in oneness, Father God. We thank you that they so willingly and eagerly lay themselves down so that they can become this one flesh that will bring you glory in such a beautiful way. We thank you that we've all got a chance to be exposed to the good, the bad, the dark, the light, Father God, the ups, the downs that they've been so willing to share with us. We've benefited greatly from them. May they be blessed greatly for being willing to share and be vulnerable and be transparent. Your word said that those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed, Father God. So as they sought to put themselves out there week after week, sharing personal things they didn't have to share, refreshing us, the audience, may they be met with a refreshing 100-fold. In Jesus' name, we pray this to be so. For everyone who was listening in tonight that caught something, may they sit with it in meditation time with you, that it may enhance them and evolve them in a beautiful way. And we thank you. If you say the same, we'll be back here. Or at least I'll be back here next week, but your children will be somewhere enjoying a honeymoon. But we just thank you for how you're leading this podcast. May we continue to give you the steering wheel. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Till next time, ladies and gentlemen.